The following is a presentation of the IH Sports Network. You're listening to the Monday Night Roundtable. For the next 2 hours, we'll talk local high school sports with the voice of the Oneida Indians, Tim Smith.
10-5, touchdown, Indians.
Give me the corners, 2 scores, baby.
Give me the corners.
The voice of the Scott Highlanders, Rick Keaton.
Throw the ball, has a receiver long upfield, chasing it down. Made by Rylan Griffith. And he'll take it all the way to the end zone.
Produced by the IH Sports Network, the Roundtable begins now.
Good Monday evening, everyone. Welcome to the Roundtable on the IH Sports Network. This is episode 2 of our 2025-2026 sports season on the Roundtable. We are live from the C. Michael Lay Technology Center in Helenwood alongside the voice of the Oneida Indians, Tim Smith, and the voice of the Scott Highlanders, Rick Keaton. I've been Garrett. Thank you for being with us tonight after what was an absolutely thrilling first week of football. And, guys, let's jump right into it. Let's take a look at how it all happened on Friday night.
The placement, the kick.
He's got it. He's got it.
That one is through there. I thought it was hooking left, but good from 36 yards out by Justin Lynch. It's a 3-0 score in favor of the Highlanders. We'll step.
And you wonder after that sack if they'll even attempt to throw right here or if they'll be content to run the football and punt.
They seen Higginbotham, the lone receiver, split wide to the left. They got a slide inside him. They'll do want to throw the ball. Here comes the pressure. It's a sack.
Safety.
In the end zone, it's a safety.
And that was the danger.
Yep. And guess who? Braxton Potter again. 12-yard line, 22-yard field goal attempt from the left hash. The placement, the kick up, man, that's nothing but on the roof and good. So the field goal attempt is good. But we move Jeffers the tight end to the right side. It's Privet again on another keeper.
He's going in.
At the 5, headed to the end zone, stretches the ball out.
He's got it in there.
Touchdown, boy! Attaboy! Touchdown, Highlanders. Gage Privet.
Well, that's as exciting.
It's third down and about 22 yards or so to go for Macquarie Central.
Defense on everybody behind him.
They send a receiver to the left. They've got 2 on the right. That's West back at quarterback. West throws it up the sideline. They tipped, intercepted. The Highlanders had the ball.
Take it
looking
back.
for running room. That's
Take it back.
Carter Slavin.
Take it back.
Picking his way along the sideline. And he's going to be stopped back at about the line of scrimmage. I believe. So now, Woody, the question is, when was the last time the Highlanders won a season opener?
About
4 seconds?
Yeah. About right now. Yeah.
Congratulations, Highlanders.
It's going to be an I formation. Hutcherson in front of Ben Gilbert. And Brock Ryan under center from the 6, first and goal, bringing Grady Keaton in motion toward the formation. Here's the snap, the pitch, trying to get to the outside. Ben Gilbert is going to stretch it over. It's going to be touchdown Indians. Ben Gilbert gets Oneida on the board.
That's what it's supposed to look like, guys. Grady Keaton falls out here in front of him, gets a good block on that cornerback, man. Boy, yeah, that's a great play. That's a phenomenal play.
Ryan under center. It is a tush-push look as Ryan takes the snap. And a surge. Touchdown, Indians. Oneida's within 1.
The old tush-push.
Mark, it is a 29-yard field goal attempt as all Oneida fans kind of cup their hands around their mouth to watch this sophomore with 5.8 seconds to go. It'll be a snap, the hold by Harper from the 19. Snap, hold by Harper, the kick by Kidd. Oh my goodness, and the clock has expired. This game has gone final. How about that? The sophomore kicker, Amari Kidd. Let's watch it one more time. Destined to be
He nailed
your Scott Morgan Farmers Co-op play of the game. Wow.
So, what an absolutely phenomenal night of football. Could not have scripted it any better. And before we break these games down, I want to say that what stands out to me, I think, you guys have been around high school football in Scott County for a long time. I don't remember a night where you had two place kickers that had the impact on the game that we saw from both these teams on Friday night. Amarian Kidd with the 29-yard game winner as time expired. And then at Scott High, you had Justin Lynch made a pair of field goals, one of them from 36 yards. It doesn't just always happen that way. 29-yard field goal, 36-yard field goal, pressure situations. At a small school, you don't always have place kickers that can do that. Tim Smith, those kickers looked awfully good.
100%. And I was just thinking that, I felt bad in a way. I mean, Ben Gilbert did a great job, but I kind of felt bad that Amarian didn't have a shot at the player of the game. I mean, we don't get to that position without Ben turning it on and turning the tide for the Indians. But there was no margin for error. You had to have those extra points, and you had to have that field goal in your game. You win by one, and you got 2 field goals, and Justin Lynch taking care of business there. I agree with you. I was thinking about that after this game. That's what I've been thinking about since is a lot of high schools, the kicking game's a throwaway. You'll see them, they just go line up and go for 2. They don't even bother with a kicking game. But we saw Rockwood struggle in punting, and we saw good kickoffs, good punts from both of these teams on Friday night. The special teams came up big.
Another thing that was similar in these two games is it looked pretty bleak for both teams, both home teams. Early in the second half, for Scott High, it was the fourth quarter, and they're still down 14-3. Oneida 14-0. Tim, and we'll talk about that game first. 14-0, 33 yards of total offense in the first half, and then you get the pick on the 3rd and long to start the second half, and Rockwood returns it all the way to Oneida's 36. At that point, it did not look good for Oneida.
It was hard to see a path forward. There was a lot of energy out of the stadium. I mean, it was just quiet. And after that interception, you hadn't had any movement of the football. And then Rockwood comes up with a run that got them within 2 yards. It was going to be 2nd down and 2, and all of a sudden, probably the most talented running back says something that he shouldn't. And he was immediately ejected. And from there, the Indians get a stop. The tide turns, and just big moments in that. A lot of penalties, so much to clean up. But, I mean, we also got a penalty which led to a change in the backfield that led to a spark for the Indians. Cole Meredith and Ben Gilbert, they're 2 different running styles. And Cole Meredith's running style had been struggling up to that point, and Ben came in with this different look, and Rockwood had trouble dealing with him.
Real quickly, let's look at what Coach Jimmy May had to say after the game.
Yes, very much. I mean, it was the game we had to survive. We had them bottled up in the first quarter. Then they hit us on a waggle, which, what we talked about, and they did it, same play they did a few years ago. They're real good at that, Coach Webb is. And we look like we're tying it up. And we hit the fullback and fumble, and they pick it up. It bounces right to them. They ran for a touchdown. We're down 14-0, and things weren't looking good, but we kept fighting and trying to overcome stuff. We turned over on 4th down, and they fumbled right back, and we're able to drive and score. And then, tied up with about 4 minutes to go and then get the ball back. But kids didn't quit, and, that's what I'm proud of. We didn't hang our head. It's all them. I mean, we pushed them. I got on to them at halftime about, this wasn't us. And it's, a lot of it was to do with Rockwood, how they were playing. We needed to play better, and they stepped up. And sometimes you have to win games when, ugly when you don't play your best. And I thought we hung in there and gave ourselves a chance to win.
So, Tim, in any game, and you've already talked about Ben Gilbert and the spark that he provided, the ejection of the Rockwood running back and what that did for the game. I also thought a big moment that this game hinged on when Rockwood gets that interception. They return it to Oneida's 36. On their first down play, Brady Burke got a big stop at the line of scrimmage. And to me, that the game just started to turn at that point. You could almost feel it.
Yeah, and I mean, you go back and look at the statistics. Rockwood had an 86-yard pass. The rest of the game, they had 75 yards. Coach Mark Martin's defense shuts them down, gives up 1 score, and it was on a busted coverage. And then because of the turning of the tide and the comeback, we're not talking about the what-ifs. Had the Indians fallen the other night, we're talking about there was a punt right before Rockwood scored. There was a punt that went into the end zone. It looked a whole lot like Rockwood backtracked into the end zone, and it was a safety, and that wasn't called. And we'd have been talking about that. We'd have been talking about Grady Keaton returning the opening kickoff of the second half for a touchdown and it getting called back. But we don't have to worry about talking about those what-ifs and those things because the Indians come back and win it. Everybody has adversity. You have some self-inflicted adversity, like the penalties and these type of things. But one of the things the Indians did have was a dominating time of possession, and they got more first downs than Rockwood. Only allowed 4 first downs for Rockwood while putting 18 first downs together in themselves. So they just hung in there and kept doing what they were doing and believed, which is one of the harder things to do. But they just kept believing and they got it done.
And that, to me, so you look at it, you look at the stats after the game. Rockwood winds up, 156 yards, I think, of offense. That's pretty good. But then you consider, as you said, they had the 80-plus yard pass play. What a night for Oneida's defense. And Rick, on the opposite side, I mean, this was a defensive night. Both games, defenses set the tone. For Scott High, we watched McCreary Central hold the ball for 10 minutes plus in the second quarter. They got the ball with 10:40 to play in the second quarter, and they gave the ball up. They scored a touchdown with 40 seconds left before halftime. But after that, and I asked Billy Hall after the game, what did you do different? And he said, schematically, we did nothing different. We told the kids what we expected from them. Scott High absolutely flipped the script in the second half.
Well, they certainly did. That opening kickoff in the third quarter sort of got us rattled a little bit, but to the credit of the players, they didn't let that get them down. This is a team that, if you look at the last 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, wins haven't been knocking on our door all the time. So there's a lot of confidence that comes into play when you learn how to win. But when you win a close game with only 40 seconds to go in the game, it makes a lot of difference. I mean, the second quarter dominated by Macquarie Central, and the Highlanders, they stepped up. They held as long as they possibly could. It's a 7-3 game at halftime. Anybody's game. Unfortunately, Macquarie got the opening kickoff, 97-yard return, puts them up 14-3, and you think, hey, what's going on? I was just talking to a friend hour and a half ago. Her brother called. She was driving Friday night, and her brother called her from California and when the game was over and says, we won 15-14, and he had updated her on the score, and she said, well, how did we get 15? Well, how do you get 15? Well, you get a sack for 2. Lynch gets the field goal for 3. You get the touchdown for the 6 more, and then Justin Lynch finishes off with an extra point kick. It's against adversity, but it shows character. And character building is very important for both teams as we get this season started. It means something to say we can overcome. But the other thing I'd like to see is I don't want the Highlanders to wait till the fourth quarter to start getting 12 and 15 points there. I'd like for us to start that, 7-14 points in the first, 7 more in the second, and build on that momentum. But again, it's getting all the pieces in sync. It's a very athletic-looking team. We've got receivers. One receiver, 37-yard reception. That was wide loaded right before the first half, down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. This could have broke the team. I think the play after that, throw a pass to the goal line, end zone, is going to be a touchdown, dropped by a very reliable receiver. And I'll expand on that more. We come into the fourth quarter. We had to get the ball. This is probably going to be our last possession of the game, so we had to do something with it. We throw the ball once again, going up the hash marks on the right side, going from left to right. Jagan Morgan, the receiver again. He dropped another pass earlier on this possession. This time bobbled, wrapped it in, turned out to be a 50-yard completion. That got us in field position, and we still had time to go on the clock. We were able to march down, and then thanks a large part to the offensive line giving some holes, and then Gage Privet stretching out that 6'3", 6'4" frame of his for all he could to get to the goal line. It resulted in a win and a real good comeback performance, Highlanders.
Let's look at what Coach Billy Hall had to say after the game.
Man, I can get good. I'm kind of don't even know what to say half the time. That's what I was telling him after the game. I was like, I don't even know what to say. But I couldn't be more proud of this group. I think I said the other night at the round table, just about how they attack everything, every single day. They never They never argue back and forth. They never complain. They're always together. And my gosh, somehow it wasn't pretty, but, we got it done. We challenged the defense at halftime. It was like, guys, if they're going to go on a 20-play drive and run off an entire quarter, because that was, you can kind of tell that was his plan, was to try to keep our offense off the field. Try to snap the ball late, try to get long drives, and try to drain the clock. That's what I said. I said, really, in the first half, we had 2 offensive drives, and the third one was with 40 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was kind of like, man, we really didn't have the ball a lot in the first half. And then second half, I kind of got greedy on some things and tried to press a little bit, but then, we kind of got settled in, and, I couldn't thank, Coach Birchfield enough from up top helping me out, and kind of he's my eyes in the sky. And, I'm telling you, look, guys, he's a genius. And I know a lot of people kind of overlook him and don't give him enough credit, but I'm telling you, that man helps us out a ton.
So what a win for the Highlanders, and so much to talk about. But I want to start here. We got the entire wide receiver core, I think, sitting back here. And every one of them, in their own way, made huge contributions in that game. And I'm going to tell you guys, I work with, and Tim works too, with Lucas Newport's granny. She couldn't hardly get through the door today. She was so proud of her grandson. And
she wasn't too happy with us because he wasn't player of the game.
Yeah, well,
I said, I don't have anything to do with that. But she was proud.
We didn't throw H under the bus or anything on that.
No.
You mentioned Wyatt Lloyd's big catch right before the half, and you mentioned Jagan Morgan's drops, but you didn't mention anything about that 50-yard catch he had on the final drive of the game. Did he?
I followed up on it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ben Garrett,
listen,
throw me under the bus. Don't do that.
Here's the thing. What I saw was 2 teams who have a coaching staff that drives them. There's mistakes, there's negatives. They drive them to not focus on the negatives and not focus on the mistakes, to focus on the next play. And if they hadn't done that, there'd be 2 teams sitting at 0-1 tonight. But they paid attention to what their coaches have taught them through all this time, and they saw it pay off. So I just congratulate them on that, on the mental strength to do that.
I want to drop two more names, so don't say I excluded them. I didn't. I'm going to talk about Braxton Potter, the sophomore.
Flipped the game.
He had one stretch right there where he was pressure, sack, the big sack in the end zone for the safety. Started that fourth quarter. The other guy I'd like to talk about, Carter Slavin. 2 weeks before up at Clinton County, they picked on Carter. They picked on him, and he was hustling, doing everything he could. The receivers were getting open behind him and everything. But how important was that interception to close out the win? There's a lot of names we can talk about, and if I had the roster right here, I'd start with everybody because it was a really solid team win, and guys stepped up and made plays when they were absolutely necessary.
One more point. We'll go to break and then flip to soccer for just a minute. The atmosphere at Highlander Stadium Friday night. It was a beautiful atmosphere all night long, but it's been a long time since I heard the folks in red get as loud as they got. Now, maybe not the whole game, but as that fourth quarter wore on and Scott High first clawed back into the game, and then it began to become apparent they were going to win, that place got loud, didn't it?
Yeah. You get the 2 points. That's a positive. You get the safety. You get the ball right back. Then you get the field goal. You follow that up, and then you say, look there and say, we're just behind by 6 points. It just takes a touchdown. And they felt that. The energy was there. And you talk about the crowd, very few places to sit down. Maybe been a few seats to our right up behind the band, but you got the fence, and now the fence, is straight across the end zone down there, lined up solidly all the way on the fence in the end zone. It was just a huge crowd, and good come-from-behind victories are beautiful stories for both teams, and that excites people to get them out for the next game and the next game and the next game.
And it was a beautiful night of football all the way around. We'll talk a lot more about football, but we're first going to talk a little bit of soccer after we take a break. As always, we want to thank Little's Drugs and Fountain for sponsoring this first segment of the Roundtable. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Roundtable. We are live on the IH Sports Network from the C. Michael Lake Technology Center in Helenwood. We talked a lot of football already, Rick Keaton. We're going to talk a lot more football, but first we're going to talk a little bit of soccer. And let me mention up front that we invited a couple of seniors from Oneida. They couldn't be here tonight because they've got an important pageant meeting, and that would be Cameron Stiltner. She's getting ready to give away her crown as Miss Scott County, and one of the people who are vying to hopefully replace her is Larissa Jones, the other senior. So they had that going on tonight, but we do have 2 of the 4 seniors from Scott High School. We've got Haley Butler and we've got Kyla Marlowe, and you guys both making your first appearance on the round table. Thank you for joining us, and I want to start this conversation by asking you this. So you guys had 2 games last week to start the season. Tuesday night against Campbell County. We're not going to talk about that. Thursday night against Clinton, rivalry game. Everybody, Scott High people, you'll probably beat Kingston more than anybody else. But Clinton falls in there. They're a pretty close second, and they've had your number the last couple of years. Well, you guys had their number on Thursday night. You beat them 3-1. What was the difference between Tuesday and Thursday? Because it looked like 2 different teams out there.
Honestly, I would say that it was 2 different teams. We took our mistakes from Tuesday's game, and, we went back, we watched film, we learned from those mistakes, and we practiced. And I think just communicating with our team better, working better with our passes, and just, really having that strive, that want to win that game. Because, we seen how Tuesday went, and we decided, we wanted better. We wanted to do better. And I think we really come together as a team, and I think we played a lot better.
And Kyla, tell me about the leadership role that you guys and the other 2 seniors take on. As seniors, did Coach Ball have to get on you guys after Tuesday's game, or did you all as seniors step up and to the rest of your team and say, hey, here's what we're going to do?
I think it was definitely both. He taught us a lot, too, on Wednesday with film, but we also had to get onto them.
So the effort that we saw Thursday night, the results we saw Thursday night, tomorrow night's another big district game against Union County, another kind of a rivalry game. So what are you looking for Thursday night that you can continue to build on for tomorrow night and the rest of the week?
I think as long as we communicate better with our team like we did on Thursday, and just watching, our passes and just being there for the ball, I think that can help us a lot tomorrow night.
And Rick, you chime in wherever.
I'll be glad to, Ben.
Let me ask you this, though. As seniors, you guys have both your 4-year players. You've been around this program for a while. I remember when Haley was a freshman, the first time I saw her, she insulted me in the way I talk at the concession stand because I said, you reckon I can get something to drink? And she said, well, I reckon you can. And I didn't know that. I don't know.
I thought that's proper grammar myself.
Well, So as seniors now, what are your expectations for this season? What are your goals?
Mainly just to win. We've experienced a lot of losses, and I just want to go out with the best season.
I'd agree. It is nice to win. I would really like to see our team grow together, like close as a family. And I think we will. And I think we already are, This season we've got some more freshmen on the team and even some other upperclassmen and that are new. But I think we're growing together.
Big week for you guys as a program. Football's off this week, so no football this week. But you guys have got, first of all, the JV team is playing Loudon right now. Any updates? Do you know how that game's going? Probably not.
No.
You've been here since the game started. Tomorrow night, Union County, we mentioned that. That's a district game. That's big. Thursday night, it's Oneida. It's AYSO night. There'll be a big crowd there. And then Friday, you've got York Institute. So a lot of soccer to be played. And by the way, they're all at home. They're all at Highlander Stadium. So an opportunity to get out and support you guys this week. And if we were sitting here Friday night and you've just played York Institute and you're looking back on the week and the 3 games that you played, what do you think you'd be saying about those 3 games?
It's definitely going to be a hard week, very hard on all of us, but I think that we can beat anybody.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that if we come out strong in our games and we have that want to and that desire to win, I full-heartedly believe our team can do it.
I think Thursday night was a little bit of a statement game. When you look at the rest of the district, Clinton had gotten you guys the last couple of years, at least maybe 3 years. And I don't know that a lot of people expected you guys to beat Clinton on Thursday night, and you did it. So tomorrow night, if you beat Union County, then you're really making a statement because Union County, now you correct me if I'm wrong, they eliminated you guys 2 years ago. Did they eliminate you last year as well?
No, we beat them 4-3.
In the regular season. But how about the postseason?
I think they did beat us. I don't know the score, but
I think they did. I think they've ended your season 2 years in a row. So tomorrow night, and yes, the game over at their place in Maynardville last year, you guys won on PKs or sudden death overtime?
I think it was
on
PKs.
PKs, wasn't it? All right, so it should be a great game tomorrow night, Rick.
Watching the Clinton game last week, a couple of things I noticed. First of all, Coach Bell, new to you guys a little bit, but I thought he was real good at substituting, keeping fresh people on. Let's get your take on that. Do you hold your hand up and say, I need out, coach, or is he just calling those shots?
Yeah, if you do need out for something, you need water, especially like Tuesday's game. That was really hot. But he's very good about, if you need that sub, you just let him know or you let Rachel know, and he'll get you subbed out, give you a couple minutes refresher, and you can be put right back in.
The other thing, I think the difference between Tuesday night and Thursday night was the fact that he moved Lyriel to one of the outside striker positions there like that. And that really, I think, did she score 2 goals? And I think that was really a good move. Did you see that coming? Did anybody suggest that to Coach Ball? Or is he just getting in the routine, learning about the abilities of his players?
That was definitely him and Rachel thing, but I think it's where she needs to be. Helped us a lot.
And you think that's where it's going to be? Where it's going to be this week?
Mm-hmm.
It's good. That gives you some really good speed. I noticed up front, because if you move Lyriel on the right side, on the left side, that puts Jeffers there, right? So you got good speed on the outside to go after the ball. Who has been, as seniors, who have you sort of, every senior, I think, takes some player under the wing to say, I really like you. I think you can help our team. Have y'all got anybody that you've sort of, I don't want to say picked on, but that you've decided we can help because we want to help you because you can help the team?
I'll say, for me, one person that I've really been impressed with is Callie. She is new here to soccer this year for Scott High, but she's really stepped up and, being there helping her back there in defense. I'm really impressed with her abilities, and she is helping her team out a lot.
Good.
I think that Callie has helped us a lot as well, but there's a freshman, her name's Chloe, and she'll be really good back there too.
Okay. Goaltender. The keeper back there has to cover a lot of ground. Let's talk about your keeper. Let's identify the keeper and what a good job she did the other night. Just gave up 1 goal, but that's the whole defense. But the keeper has to be pretty active.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Emily Rao. Some of her saves she makes, I just don't know how she does it.
Is this her first year as a keeper?
She's been our keeper since she's been a freshman, but we've had Bella as our main keeper,
That's what I was
so she's mainly been JV. But she's really stepping up, and I'm proud of her.
You want to give us a quick scouting report tomorrow night and Thursday and Friday? Are all 3 games important? I know the district game in Union County tomorrow night is very important. Is that the one game you'd really like to win this week?
Definitely like to win Oneida as well.
Okay.
I think we're kind of going into this mentality that, yes, we do want to win tomorrow. That is district. But, I believe we can win all 3 of them. So, for me, I wouldn't just pick one game. I'd say all of them.
The unusual situation of getting to play on a Friday night. Is that starting to say, hey, this is an important night? We might have a huge crowd here for that game Friday. I know you'll have one Thursday, but it's a Friday night and no football to go to, and expect a lot of people to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I got to know something. So Emily Flady, she's one of the other seniors. She was in a boot. She didn't get to play against Campbell County. She was backing in the starting lineup for Thursday's game. As soon as she gets out of her boot, Coach Ball shows up in a boot. Is there a correlation there? Did he take her boot?
No, I think he just wants to be like her.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about, you guys are seniors. There is more to life than sports, unfortunately. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go to school? If you're going to go to school, and I assume both of you are going to go to school. You're very good academically. What's your plans?
My plans are to become an elementary school teacher, and right now I'm still debating on what college exactly, but I'm just going to seek the Lord in it.
So Scott County, going to teach here?
Yes, that's my goal.
Going to coach soccer?
I don't know. We'll see what the Lord has planned.
I think you could do it. How about it?
I have no idea what I'm going to do after this. But
no idea?
No.
Okay.
It's time to write out the plan.
It's okay. My son didn't know what he was going to do at this point in his senior year. Actually, he's 2 years into college, and he still doesn't know what he's going to do. Yep. All right. So Kyla Marlowe and Haley Butler, thank you guys for joining us. Good luck to you all this week as you go through a very jam-packed week, and to everybody at home, get out and support the Lady Highlanders. There have been, you mentioned the crowds. There have actually been 2 really great crowds at Highlander Stadium so far. We know there will be Thursday as well, but Tuesday night and Friday night, get out and support the team. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to flip back to football on the Roundtable. Welcome back to the Roundtable, live from the C. Michael Lay Technology Center in Helenwood. This is the IH Sports Network. This is Tim Smith. This is Rick Keaton. I'm Ben Garrett. And we've got Ben Gilbert and we've got Evan Cotton. Ben was our first National Bank player of the game Friday night. We've already talked about the spark he provided, and Evan Cotton was the Trophy Masters lineman of the game in that big win over Rockwood. Tim.
He was, and I'm going to start with Evan because, Evan, it's pretty evident that you are an emotional leader for the team. At least you feel like that's your role. Am I right about that?
A little bit.
You take that on. So I mean, So that includes trying to pump up the crowd, trying to pump up your teammates, trying to do all these. How do you do that without risking getting a penalty? Do you walk right up to the edge, or is it always something that's not going to draw the attention of the officials?
I don't think they're too worried about it.
Okay, that's good. So what's the most effective thing for you to try to get the team's mind right and get them going? What's your go-to move?
Piss them off.
Okay, yeah, so
Cool.
do you do that? I told you we were going to have a button. So as best you can for the viewing audience at home, what's your best method of doing that?
Just getting them really upset.
Okay, but how do you? I'm afraid to ask. How do you?
All things are fair.
How do you get Ben upset?
Just tell me sucks.
Okay. All right, you just keep them grounded. That's the way we'll say it. Evan keeps them grounded. So now Friday night there was some struggles early on against Rockwood, right, Evan? We had there was some pressure coming from Rockwood. What were they doing that was tough to deal with?
I think the speed on the edge really got us on the left side a little bit, and they were slanting a little bit. So we had to communicate better, and I think we did that in the second half.
So 70, pretty good sized guy. I don't remember his name, but he was giving us some trouble early, right?
Yeah.
But then I went and I looked at the stats. I think he finished with 4 tackles. So I mean, in the end, you all kind of held him in check. Ben, I'm going to switch to you right now. So when the Indians were struggling in this game to move the football, and then we had the interception. Rockwood comes down. It looked like they had a first down, and then one of the Rockwood players, from what we understood, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you may give us more insight. Did he say something that caused the ejection?
Yeah, they've got like more strict on that, and there's certain things that you can and cannot say anymore, and he said one of those things that you can't say, so that's automatic ejection now.
So it's a particular word or a particular action saying it at somebody, or?
Yeah, particular word, I guess
Who
you could say.
Who got that out of him? Who upset him?
Maddox, yeah, he got ripped for that today in film, but yeah, he's pretty good he's like Cotton, he'll make you mad.
He is? Okay.
Yeah.
So but in this case he made the other team mad. I mean,
Right.
you can go back and watch the video that the guy, he doesn't waste any time. He grabs the mouthpiece out and he wants to make sure he makes his point, but that was the end of the night for him. So then at that point that happened, then we also got one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you got onto the field. We had a flag on one of our players, but it wasn't the kind that gets you ejected for good. But the running game had been a little bit stagnant at that point, and at that time they had kind of bottled Cole Meredith up. You and Cole Meredith are very different runners. You have different styles, and it seemed like the change of style when you came in caused Rockwood a lot of trouble. Why do you think that is?
Cole's just like a lot more of a speed back. I'm just kind of a sit back and read it type of running back, I guess, and it's very different. It's a very different play against, and there's been very few times as a linebacker that I've had to adjust between two big differences like that. So especially playing for the linebackers, it's just a big adjustment for you.
So you're saying as a defender, trying to defend those two different types of runners, it's two different ways to deal with it.
Yeah, for Cole, like, he's a speed back, so they're trying to get to the hole before he does and stop him, and they're in a rush to get over there. For me, I just kind of, I'm not as fast as Cole is, so I just kind of sit back, and when I see him go into that hole, then you can find other holes to hit.
Okay. Evan, what about is there a difference when either of them are in the backfield? Does that change what you do if it's Cole or if it's Ben?
I think Ben's a little bit better on reading the holes. So I think once we open up the holes, we know Ben's going to hit it. And then Cole, it's more of like we're going to block and he's going to follow us, but he's going to sit here and use his speed to get around everybody.
He goes with the plan more.
Yes.
Probably. And so, to me, and I was talking with somebody yesterday about the difference as a defender also, you might lose Cole behind the line. Ben, you're not going to lose, but it's a different challenge altogether. Is that probably right?
Yeah.
Okay. So things got to moving better, and then by the end, Ben comes out and Cole's back in and much improved. It was still moving the football. Talk to us about that last drive where you had to get in field goal range. What was your main focus on that?
My main focus was I was just letting everybody know, like, we got to have good protection here because we don't have the time to sit here and lose yards. Like, we had to get the ball down the field. That way we could set up the field goal.
And in a situation like that, when you're trying to hurry up and get to the line, who's yelling and making sure everybody's moving and getting there so that you can get lined up for the next play?
Everybody's watching Coach May to see the play calls and everything. Normally it's me and Brady on the O-line getting the pass protection and communicating with the rest of the O-line for it.
Okay. And Ben, we talked about some points in this game that if this had been a loss, probably people would be pointing back to. One, the big touchdown pass that Rockwood got. Right before that, it looked like we got them for a safety, and maybe they were able to the official ruled that we didn't get a safety on them. So that kind of had to be disheartening. And then also looks like we're going to go in right before the half. We're down inside the 4, and we fumble it, and they take it and run it back. That's a lot to come back from. Did you ever doubt for a second? Was there a question in your mind that this may be spiraling out of control?
There's definitely doubt, and you're going at the week 1 down 2 scores. So that's just kind of a pressure out there. I said last week, be 0-1. But we've been in the position before. I can think back to a few games like Wartburg my sophomore year. We were down 2 scores, same situation. They score off 2 busted plays, and then Gabe eventually came in, went 4 for 4, something like that, and then let a touchdown drive got us going. But yeah, we've been into the position before. It's definitely not fun, but you have your doubts. Everything's going through your mind. It's just you got to get your job done and hope it works out for you.
So Ben seems a little more level. Evan, you don't. And so I'm going to ask you.
He's pretty level right here.
Right, but as somebody who is very emotional, mercurial, even in it, how did that feel? Because you go down 14-0, then it looks like Grady's run back a kickoff return, and then nope, he hadn't. They're calling it back, and then it looks like there's a safety. No, there hadn't, and now they get a touchdown pass. It just seemed like they kept almost giving and then taking it away, and then late going, the interception happens, and all of those things. How do you deal with those emotions?
Definitely not happy about them. I get really upset.
Yeah.
And you can probably tell. And really just leave it to Coach May. He always has an inspirational speech at halftime when we're down. And he gets us back on track and we get going.
So we had a good crowd out. But you back me up on this, Evan. They were on their hands in that third quarter when it was 14-0. About halfway through, it was real quiet out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but you guys provided a reason for them to get rowdy and get loud. They just don't need to wait that long, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All game long.
Because sometimes you'll come over and tell them.
Yep.
You got both hands telling them, come on. And sometimes it feels like, Evan, this is not a good time. But you do it anyway. I hats off to you. There's a lot of people that wouldn't do that. So big win, big comeback. Rick, you got anything for these guys?
Have y'all, with the coaching staff, watched film any? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'd like to ask what Coach May and what the staff says, what's the one thing or 2 things that you want to expound on right here that they say you've got to clean up? We got to be better at this week. Go ahead, Evan. I'm sure they pick on linemen first before they do anybody
Always.
else.
So we're going against the 3-3 stack on defense this week. So really just we got to communicate well because you never know what a team can do with the 3-3 stack. So I think as long as the communication on the O-line's good, we should be good for this week.
Okay. And man.
Yeah, they're like you said, it's easy to pick on the O-line whenever you're in film.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, there's just certain. It's week by week. This week we weren't really happy defensively, which we just got lucky because honestly we didn't fit right. Linebackers didn't play a good game, and then a few things with the DBs. But yeah, I mean that's usually the main things is just O-line and fitting the run on defense.
Announcers and coaches and spectators, they'll talk about the improvement week 1 to week 2. You guys buy into that because you saw all the things that were good and a lot of things that were bad. So do you believe in we grow between the first and second game?
I mean, yeah, I'd go for that, all season long too, week by week, all season long. Like week 1, tackling is, I mean, for me personally, I feel like it was the whole team this week. It's just never been good for me. Week 1 as the season goes on, I get more used to it as we go on, and then penalties is an obvious one. Week 1, there's always just a ton of penalties that that eventually cleans up as the weeks go on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first week's always stressful for, I think, everybody on the team. We're all worried about what are we going to look like this year, what are we going to be able to do, and then we just get back on track after week 1 and just get everything on the road.
You mentioned penalties. Think about penalties. Depends on what part of the game, offense or defense. Penalties can change the flow so much.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that, Rick. This had no flow. But because of all the penalties there.
Okay.
I mean, I felt like, right, both sides. You get 21 penalties. And
that many? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
It was a long night. But, yeah. So what about Harriman? Have you guys seen anything on Harriman yet?
Yeah, I think they'll be good. They got a really good running back. He's big size. They got a good tackle. Pretty big quarterback, honestly. They look a lot like us from, the skill positions. I think we got a big group of skill guys this year, and they do too. And then they've got a really good tackle that, we got to be aware of. But, yeah, I think this is a good team. They're in a good district with Oliver Springs and Cofield, and I think they'll be right up there with them this year.
Evan, you didn't go down for any cramps, did you?
No.
What can you do for the rest of these guys, because you're one of the few? What's your secret?
Pickle juice.
Just a lot of salt.
A lot of salt. All right.
So I got one question
Sure.
before we go to break. So if you'd asked me to name 5 things that were going to happen Friday night, some of them would have been easy. Oneida's defense is going to be really good. I could have said that. One thing I didn't have on my bingo card was Ben Gilbert. We know he's a great defender, rushing for almost 100 yards. You saw Scott Gilbert play back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
And
why are you going to pit me against Scott Gilbert?
There are a lot of those Gilbert kids. And
he was a quarterback.
None of them look more like Scott than Ben. They look just alike. Yeah. What is Scott Gilbert's kid doing rushing for almost 100 yards in a game?
So Scott was a quarterback, not a dual threat. He was a drop back. So, I mean, it's an unfair comparison.
Yeah, I mean, I've been told I play exactly like him as well. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, Dad, I think, I don't know, I want to say he played corner too, I think.
Yep,
or something
that's
like
right.
That. I'm not sure. He doesn't talk a whole lot about that. He's real big into motorcycles, so that's kind of his thing. He's more worried about that, I guess.
All right.
So there you have it.
So before we go to break, as a player of the game, now Evan, you got to wait till the end of the season on you got swag coming from Trophy Masters. You get that at the end of the season. First National Bank is presenting all season long. I'll give you that T-shirt first, but I want to show off this hoodie, and they gave these last year too to our players of the game, and so we want to thank First National Bank as we have a hoodie and a T-shirt for Mr. Gilbert, and these are nice. Tim, I know that you and I both enjoy these.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's almost, I mean, it's time already almost.
It is.
Tonight.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Probably feel pretty good.
40s tomorrow night. Yeah, break out that hoodie. All right, guys. Ben Gilbert, our player of the game, First National Bank player of the game, and Evan Cotton, our Trophy Masters lineman of the game. Thank you guys for being with us. Good luck Friday night against Harriman. Let's make it 2-0. Take a break. When we come back, we'll flip to Scott High football. Welcome back to the Roundtable on the IH Sports Network. We're live at the C. Michael Lake Technology Center in Helenwood with Tim Smith and Rick Keaton. I'm Ben Garrett, and now we're joined with the Scott High Superlatives from the win over McCreary Central on Friday night. We've got our first National Bank Player of the Game, Michael Bond, here, and we have got our Trophy Masters lineman of the game, Braxton Potter. And Michael is a senior. Braxton is a sophomore.
Yes, sir.
And now Braxton doesn't look much like a lineman, but he's a defensive end, and what an impact he had on the game Friday night. Rick Keaton.
There was this one series, defensive series, that Braxton Potter seemed to always be in McQuarrie backfield, almost as fast as quarterback was getting the ball. And the most important thing is he was putting pressure at a pivotal time when we needed the ball back. We really needed the ball back. I think at that time we were trailing 14-3, so something had to start happening, and we're in the fourth quarter. And let's talk about the sack. You come off the left edge.
Yes, sir.
You get in there, and it's a pretty stout quarterback that they had.
Yes, sir.
How were you able to wrestle him down, and the reaction from the team after that?
I don't know. I'd probably have to give credit to Houston because first half I played pretty bad, and then him and his brother kind of motivated me a little bit and got me just going and kind of helped me a little bit, so I'd have to give credit to him.
But a breakout performance, no doubt.
Yes, sir.
Michael Bond, how does it feel to be healthy?
Feels
And
great.
wait a minute, let me knock on wood, all I can knock on right here, but healthy is a huge component for you this year.
Right.
The other night, we could move the ball a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't get in the first half, especially. We didn't have many opportunities, only 2 possessions. And on our first possession, we gave up the ball on an INT. So we only had one other possession in the first half. Talk about the ability of the team sort of to rebound from that and to start moving the ball a little bit. You had a couple of pretty big runs, I think, a couple of 17 and maybe a 20-something yard run there. I mean, talk about what the line did for you the other night.
Oh, well, I think they did great. I mean, definitely a lot better this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the starting 5 up front is pretty solid for the Highlanders, whether it be run block, whether it be pass block, correct?
Yep.
The important play at the end of the game, there was actually 2 important plays at the end of the game, but the important play at the end of the game was Gage Privet, who's back there somewhere. I didn't know him the other night. He had a hoodie skull cap on, something like that. Where were you at on that play as he's driving, trying to stretch out for the end zone?
I was lead blocking for him, actually, and I kind of missed the dude that tackled him in the end zone, and I kind of seen it right there, like he got the touchdown.
Did you say that was my guy?
Yeah.
Was Desmond also in on that play too?
Yeah, he was lead blocking as
So
well.
both of you were going to lead, and he was going to try to stretch off the right edge in.
Right.
Okay. When it comes to running the ball, and you're a very good receiver out of the backfield too. We do a lot of screen passes trying to get him your way. You prefer catching the pass and going, because that sort of gets you in space by itself. Or do you prefer, going into the line, being very patient, and cut for your block?
It really just depends. Like whatever gives me the most open. Like I'd probably say passing though.
Okay, I've talked with Coach Hall a lot, and the thing I'm impressed with in the preseason scrimmages and even the other night is your patience. Your patience, waiting on the hole, determining where you need to go, straight, or you make the cuts.
Right.
How hard have you worked on that this year?
I've been working on it pretty hard, I'd say.
Is being healthy a big key to that also?
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing I noticed, in your previous seasons, you wanted to fight for that extra yard, 2-3 yards, and getting a lot of blows coming at you. This year, you're content to, hey, I'll take my 10 yards, and when I see the second defender come along, I'm ready to go down, protect my body, protect myself.
Right, yeah.
And that's something you've worked on also?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay. You're playing pretty much exclusively offense this year.
Mm-hmm.
You'd played some defense in the previous years. Prefer to stay on the offensive side. And, of course, we're lucky that we can platoon both ways. Prefer to stay on the offensive side?
Yeah.
What 2 blockers up front do you like running behind the best?
I'd say Jaden Para and Caleb Bell.
Right side.
Yeah.
the tackle and the guard there like that.
Right.
Of course, you've got a senior and a sophomore there, correct? Okay. So I would say that's the strength. Probably our right side might be the strength. If you had one player that you thought that, hey, I need this guy to get the block for me for a touchdown that would win the game, who would you want to run behind?
Desmond Bowen.
Desmond Bowen. There you go, Desi. We're throwing something at you. How about the defense the other night? You've got to be real proud to be a part of the defensive team that you really didn't get a talking to at halftime other than the challenge to come out and play hard-nosed football,
Yes,
correct?
Sir. You're always going to get screamed at because Bill's you're a defensive coach, so. But I don't really know.
Look at the second half.
Yes, sir.
I don't have it. It went something like 3 punts, interception to clean up the game there like that, and then I think maybe turnover on downs.
Yeah.
So 5 possessions. We hold McQuarrie. We keep them scoring any more points.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the leader on defense that fires you up, that fires the rest of the team up?
Probably Desmond. He just fires everybody up, honestly.
Does he? I can't see it up in the press box, but does he smile as much down on the field through the course of the game as I see him on the sidelines, and when I'm bumping into him, he's sitting back there smiling right now? Does he smile all the time during the game?
Yeah, he's always smiling.
Okay. Of course, Des is also a senior. You got 15 seniors this year.
Yes, sir.
Which senior has came to Braxton Potter and said, "Hey, Braxton, I'd like to help you a little bit. I'd like to help you establish yourself as a good player on our team this year"? Who would you point a finger at?
I wouldn't really say one. I feel like all of them kind of helps me out a little bit. I mean, I feel like they all have my back and stuff. Even when I do wrong, I feel like they always encourage me and stuff.
When you were walking up here to sit down, I sort of said, like, hey, you're bigger in person than I thought you were in a football uniform. Height-wise, what are you, 6'3"?
I think I'm 6'1".
6'1", okay. I was giving you a lot more credit then, wasn't I?
Yeah.
But the defense the other night had to really come out, especially after they had that opening kick return for touchdown, down 14-3. What did the coaches say after when you had to go back out? I mean, we were going to get the ball after that, and the defensive team was going to go out on the possession after that. What did the coaches say to you?
They really just told us just, like, calm down, just get rid of the nerves and just play football, honestly, because I feel like coming out of the game, like, we were just all, like, around. We wasn't doing our jobs, and they kind of just told us just do our jobs and we'd be fine. But
McQuarrie Central, pretty physical football team, big on the offensive line, pretty big, and that 10 or 12 minutes they had the ball there on that one possession in the first half. Were you on the field at that time when they had that possession?
yes, sir. I was actually the one who gave up the touchdown. So
I wasn't going to ask that question, but you admitted to it. But they were bringing a load. I mean, nothing fancy. They were just pushing, running behind that. Could we just not stop that, or credit to them? They were moving us to get the holes and the runs.
I'd probably just have to give credit to them, honestly. But I feel like the second half we fixed it and we came out and got the win, so that's all that matters.
Okay. One other question before I go back over to Michael. The interception of Carter Slavin right before the end of the game.
Cheerleaders.
Throwing tables over there. That interception. And I alluded to it a while ago, and I think you were here there when I said 2 weeks ago up at Clinton County. I mean, they just went after him, and he has really improved in that 2 weeks and found himself in position there. What did you think about, the interception and the return, which really got us in their territory? What did you think about the interception, and how well did the defensive players then go ahead and support him after that play?
I think everybody was supporting. The fans were, like, really loud, and it was just cool to be around, honestly.
Sure was. Michael, how about the crowd the other night? Could you hear him? I mean, obviously supporting you there like that. And,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
As we look at the fourth quarter, what was the mood of the offense at that time? Like I say, we started fourth quarter. We were trailing 14-3.
It was just very fast pace. Kind of mixing the throw and run game a lot. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Exciting win, though, right?
Right.
Does that help? Does the team feel better about, hey, we won a game, and it's all about learning how to win?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Tim?
Well, when I watched it, Michael, and so Rick's talking about the injury history. That makes me wonder. So while you were injured last year and having to watch, during that time, were you watching and thinking, were you learning while you were watching, thinking, when I get back out on the field, I'm going to do things differently. There's some things I'm going to do differently. And is there anything specifically you're doing differently this year?
Well, I'm a little more contact this year. Last year I was just real jukey, trying to avoid everyone. But this year I'm kind of like mixing it, like juke in.
Is it something you think about? Are you at the point where you don't even think about it? It's just instinct on what move you're gonna make.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's your favorite kind of run? Is it a sweep? Is it an off tackle? Is it up the middle? What's your favorite?
It's right up the middle.
Yeah. When you hear that, you're like, yes, this is what I'm wanting to do.
Yep.
Yep. Why is that? Do you think?
I don't know. I feel like that's where I'm most positive from, right up the middle.
You want to deliver a little punishment?
Yeah.
Yep. That sounds good. Okay, Braxton, speaking of delivering punishment, so I was watching that game, and everybody makes mistakes, right? But not everybody recovers from mistakes. So I didn't actually know that mistake had occurred that you mentioned, but what I did know was there was a period where you were different. You took over. You turned into something different all of a sudden, like a machine, like a switch had flipped, and you had decided you weren't taking it anymore. You got to the quarterback. You were creating pressures. You were just causing all kinds of trouble for McCreary Central. I'm going to ask you, as a sophomore, the coaches, is there a technique a coach has taught you? Is there something they've told you that after you've thought about it, you've like, oh, I'm going to put that into practice, and it's really working for you?
Well, at the first half, I was kind of getting a little bit too far inside and kind of getting sucked in, so I really couldn't make a play. But then they talked to me about it at halftime, and I fixed it and adjusted, so it kind of helped out a lot more.
And they've talked about your size, but your size can be an advantage, right? Because you might be facing a bigger tackle a lot of times, and so if you start to the outside, here's a big guy that can't shift as quickly as you do, and he's got to make a decision. Is he going to go the outside with you, and then you spin in? Is that the type of thing you're doing?
Yes, sir. Well, I just rely on my speed a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just put him a little wider outside there in the second half, and it just boom straight in, and he pretty much had it unabated toward the quarterback.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it was really fun to watch. Fun to watch you guys come back, and the excitement, and again, as both teams did, to not let the situation get you down, to just keep your nose at the grindstone. Great win. A lot of teams never get a win like that.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
So, now I'm a Michael Bond fan. You know that. I was lobbying for Braxton Potter to be player of the game. I won't say who overruled me, but I got overruled, and they said, let's make Braxton the lineman of the game. And it works because we got to get both of you guys up here. But I'm telling you, that game hinged, in my opinion, on back-to-back sacks, and I had just made the statement. You guys had started to get pressure on them anyway, and you just got the big sack to play before. It was 3rd and 21 from the 7-yard line. I said, they're not going to throw. They're going to be content to run the football and punt. And lo and behold, they dropped back to throw. So, number one, were you surprised that they did that? And number two, you just came untouched off that left end.
Yes,
How
sir.
do they let you come untouched again?
I kind of split my out wider, so I sorry. I split my thing out farther so I could get past them easier. I don't really know.
Okay.
Because when first half I was down inside more, so I was getting sucked in, so I didn't have room to rely on my speed more.
Okay. And by the way, one thing I think, Rick, that has probably gone not unnoticed, but not really been talked about as much. Do you know what set up the 2 sacks and then the safety?
Tell me, I think I do.
The 51-yard punt by that guy sitting right back there, Houston Stanley, who had a great night punting the football. We don't want to see him any more than we have to punting the football, but guys, he looked pretty doggone good punting the football, didn't he?
Punted twice for about a 45, 47-yard average the other night.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right, Mike, last year against Union County, and I've said it over and over, and I know this is not some ingenious insight on my part, at Union County, if you hadn't got hurt, you were going to break the school record for single-season rushing yards because they did not have an answer for you that night. Now, they tell me that maybe you got close or broke that school record unofficially during a scrimmage this year. So what do you think? What do you think we're going to see from Michael Bond down the road this season? Is that record in jeopardy?
I mean, it could be.
We'll hope so.
He had about 30 carries up in Clinton County, so.
So let me ask you this, and your quarterback is sitting back here, and he had 221 yards passing in that win over McCreary Central, which is a career high for him. So do you think he's going to go to Coach Hall and lobby to throw the football more? Or do you think your touches are in danger?
Well, kind of all game we really threw the ball. Like even me, like I was catching the ball as well. But I wouldn't say it would be in danger. Like I think we'll throw it in there a little more actually, the run.
All right. So Braxton, you've got swag coming your way at the end of the season from Trophy Masters. Michael, I've got your swag tonight from First National Bank for being the player of the game. I've got a T-shirt, very nice T-shirts. We talked about them. We love those T-shirts, and also a hoodie. And so we appreciate First National Bank being our player of the game sponsor. Again, they've been our player of the game sponsor since the inception of the IH Sports Network, and also, of course, to Trophy Masters as well. So thank you guys both for coming and joining us. You're off this week. Enjoy it. Where are you going to go Friday night? Are you going to watch football? You're going to watch soccer at home?
I don't really know yet.
Probably Monterey.
Monterey. All right.
See how
You
they
got to go scout, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. 1 week from this Friday night at Monterey. Good luck to you both over there. Michael Bond, our First National Bank player of the game. Braxton Potter, Trophy Masters lineman of the game. We'll take a break. When we come back, Brady Burke has been sitting back here and waiting his turn for a long time. We're going to talk to our scholar athletes next. Welcome back to the Roundtable on the IH Sports Network, live from the C. Michael A. Technology Center in Helenwood. Alongside Tim Smith and Rick Keaton, I'm Ben Garrett, and we're joined now by our One Bank of Tennessee Scholar Athletes of the Week. We've got Oneida senior Brady Burke. We've got, it happens once every year, I go mind blank at the wrong time.
But you recovered so quickly. I was happy for you.
We've got Scott High senior Desmond Bowling, and both of these guys have a GPA of 4.0 plus. So both of them excel on the football field. Both names get called a lot on Friday nights, also very good in the classroom. And, Tim, before I let you take off with this, we so appreciate One Bank jumping on board with us this year and sponsoring our scholar athlete. And Matt West, he is the director of our local office in Oneida of One Bank. He was going to be here tonight to present you guys with whatever your prize is, and I don't even know. He's got a middle school football game, though, so that's where he's at tonight. But congratulations to both of you guys, not only for your success on the field but also in the classroom.
And he will be joining us down the road on the round table. And I was just sitting here trying to think, I wonder, with the two of you at a 4.0, what you've brought the table's GPA collectively up to. We might be getting close to being over a 3 with two 4.0s and the three of us. You're probably pulling us up there pretty good. But, Brady, do you have a favorite subject in school?
Favorite? I don't know. I've always been the best at math, though.
Okay. So is that something that you could see yourself going into a field that involves math?
Yeah. Probably plan on being an engineer. So
all right, that's a good one.
Pretty
yeah.
math heavy.
So let me ask you this. Are you somebody who you get home, you have to crack the book open and study, or are you one of these guys? Because I was around both of them in school. Some of them, they don't crack the book at all. They just come in, take the test, and go through it. Does it come easy, or does a lot of work go into it?
I mean, I have to study still, you know. Back in middle school, you know, I could get away with just doing whatever, but those college classes I have to study a little bit.
What teacher's most to blame for you having to study so hard?
Probably Miss Jeffers.
Miss Jeffers. Of course. I bet that's probably a leading answer for folks. Desmond, what about you? Do you have a favorite subject?
Yeah, I'd have to say it's math.
Math? All right. Two mathematicians. What about the same question? Is it something you have to work real hard at, or does it seem to just come natural to you?
Honestly, it just comes kind of natural.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
But you're glad about it, right?
Yeah.
Is there a class that maybe is the toughest one of them all, or?
Not this year yet. Ain't really got into nothing yet. But last year, I'd say like Jenny Halls was pretty hard.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so everybody says.
So everybody says, yep.
Yep. So do you have an idea of what you might like to do down the road?
Yeah, probably be a math teacher or PE teacher.
Math teacher. Would you coach if you were doing that?
100%.
Yeah. Football probably would get a look. Anything else?
No, probably just football.
Okay. All right. What about Brady? What are you looking at down the road?
Like for a job.
You said engineering, yeah.
Yeah, probably engineering.
Where do you think you would go to do that?
I don't know. I'll get there.
Okay. All right. Rick, you got?
Well, let's turn it to football a little bit. Let's talk about the position you play on the football field, and let's talk. This is a two-parter. The position you play on the football field, what it means to you to be a senior and one of the leaders on the team.
I'm a right tackle, and also play defensive tackle. And I don't know. It feels good to, be a senior, but it's also, a little nerve-wracking having to lead the team, tell everybody what to do, be responsible for the underclassmen. So.
Okay, Desmond, what position do you play, and also your leadership role on the team?
I play middle linebacker, and it's just a lot of responsibility being a leader.
When we talked to your teammates, even last year, they said, who leads on this team, who goes about their business on a day-to-day basis. They keep coming back to Desmond Boland. Is that something that gives you a little, pat on the back and a good feeling in your heart that your teammates think about you that way?
Yeah, absolutely does.
Okay. You've got another linebacker back there with you in the 4-2 that the Highlanders play. Who is the linebacker? And I think it's you, but who's the linebacker that Coach Privet calls on when you guys send a backer, and who's the guy who comes back and watches and plays the front?
So a lot of it is if he's blitzing, he'll usually send Braden, and he'll usually leave me back out there to read it, just because I've kind of gotten pretty good at reading it now.
You guys had some pretty good races in games when you're going from inside out to get from here to try to get out to the sideline. Who's faster?
Don't know yet.
Okay. I'll never ask that question again there. And even when I expect sometime we'll have Braden on the show. Talk about your offensive linemen, the guys on the offensive line, and what they mean to you collectively as the group, and who are the other seniors on the line?
We got 4 seniors on the line. There's me, Jackson, Evan, and Reese, and also Cersei will switch in for Reese.
Okay. Who has the most experience? Who's been a starter for 2 years, 3 years, even 4 years?
Me, Jackson, Evan have all been 3-year starters. But I got a little bit of playing time my freshman year, so I probably have the most experience.
Run block or pass block?
It just depends on the game. I'd rather, if it's a big guy, I'd rather pass block. But,
If it's a big guy that you're going up against. Okay, very good. Of course, we were talking about middle linebacker. You also get to play offense. I think we heard Michael say you were the other lead block on Gage's. You didn't get to carry the ball the other night, but you also can carry the ball to give. You would be the first sub in to give Michael a break if he comes out for a break or whatever, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't have to ask. I really know the question, offense or defense, but I'm going to ask it.
It's 100% defense. Now, running the ball is fun, but it's definitely defense.
Not even when you're a lead blocker and you can go pound somebody, it's still defense.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the defensive effort as a whole by the Highlander team the other night? Second half was outstanding. Couldn't stop them on that second quarter there in the first half. But what about the defense as a whole? Your perspective, how well we played?
I think our effort was really great. We was rallying to the ball. Now, we did miss some assignments, but that's going to happen. But at least the effort was there.
Okay. Sort of the same question. I mean, you're down at 1 point, 14-0. Is the line saying, Coach, you can believe in us. Whatever you want us to do, we can make holes, we can pass block. What are the conversations you're having with the coaches, trying to get the momentum swung?
Really just communicating what we're doing. Had a lot of mistakes in the first half, and if we can all be on the same page, we always say that's more important than being on the right page.
You've got a game this week against Harriman. What's the early report on Harriman?
Well, Ben kind of said earlier, they look like us. They have 1 or 2 big linemen. They got some really fast skill guys, big quarterback, but, we'll find out Friday night, I guess.
Yeah, no game this Friday night. What are your plans?
Probably just rest up, probably go watch some football on Friday.
Okay. Monterey?
Maybe, not for sure yet.
Okay, well, good enough there. Open date sort of early. Most teams don't take an open date early in the season, I guess. But when you're building a schedule and you have to do that, that's the way it falls. Are you glad to see an open date this early? You knowing that you're going to have 9 straight games week after week, or?
It's kind of weird. Not really used to it. I'm going to get so ready for one game and then just instantly taking a break the next week. But I don't know.
Like I told Coach Hall the other night, the people talk about the improvement. One game to the second game in the season. You got 2 weeks to improve. I mean, we should be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So, Brady, we had Evan up here earlier tonight. Do you play beside Evan or on the opposite?
Yeah, I play right beside him.
Right beside Evan.
Right guard, I'm right tackle.
Tell me about that experience. What's that like?
Well, it's really nice to run block with him because we both know what we're doing. We've played for a long time, and, we just tell Coach May to run right between us.
All right. And you don't have to say anything because he's going to do the talking, right?
He does most of the talking.
Yeah. Well, and you're not the talker. So what's that like? Is it? I mean, he does some good things, right? In that arena.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Do you talk to the other team at all, or you just go about business?
I don't really talk to the other team. No, I mean, I'll talk to my teammates, obviously, in the huddle, but I don't talk to the other team.
What about when an opponent is talking to you, trying to engage you, trying to get you, try to get in your head? What do you do? How do you react to that?
I usually just put them on their back and get up and leave.
Okay. All right. Math guy, you wear 77.
Yeah.
How'd you choose that?
Well, my favorite number is 7, and I play lineman, so I can't be number 7. Might as well be 77. So.
Okay. All right, that's good. Desmond, I'm going to ask you the same question first. Is just so are you vocal, or are you just an emotional leader? Do you do it just through your play? I know you do it through your play because I've seen you do it, but are you also vocal?
Yeah, I definitely talk a lot when I'm on the field.
You talk to the other team?
Yeah.
How do they respond to that?
Usually talk back.
Okay. Is that fun? Does that get you going?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so it's part of it, right?
Yep.
So, as a math guy as well, you wear the 0. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How'd you come at that one?
Really? So, coming into our junior year, everybody was wanting to switch numbers. It was just open. Looked cool.
Look cool.
I agree. It does kind of look cool. It used to be you used to never see a 0, and that's a neat look.
Right.
Yep.
So, Desmond, let me ask you, as a senior on this Scott High team, some of your teammates, most of them have cleared out, but a few, and the first to arrive, by the way, there's the receivers still hanging around here. I sense that there is a real strong camaraderie with you guys as a football team this year, and I got to say that's not always been the case, I don't think, with Scott High football. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so last year, definitely a lot of fighting, arguing. Everybody wasn't really close, but this year, seems like everybody's really close. It's not just one little group and one little group here. We're an actual team.
And I've heard your coach say that. I've heard newcomers to your team that have just joined your team have talked about how everybody's on the same page, nobody's out for themselves, and I think that's admirable. And I think it'll take you guys far this year. Okay, as we'll wrap this segment up, but I got to tell you, Tim Smith, since this is the Scholar Athletes, now I'm not good at math like these two guys. Not good really at much of anything. That's not entirely true. I had a 29 on my ACT in English, so I'm okay at that.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at history.
He was ready with that
one.
Can
you stop? Can you stop? I'm trying to give a history lesson.
Okay.
This guy, and I think you probably know better than I do. It would probably be your 6th great grandfather, Burke.
You guys, sixth great grandfather.
So if you've ever done any reading about the Burkes of the Big South Fork, there's a strong history there, right? And you've heard of the Battle of No Business, right?
I've heard of it.
Go home and
I've
research
read about
that.
it. Yeah.
That was direct lineage right here with the Battle of No Business. I just thought I'd throw that.
And I'll bet he didn't talk either. He just put them on their back. It's been a Burke tradition.
Actually, it's true. Go read about it and the Burke role in that. It's pretty cool. All right. So Desmond Bowling, Scott High School, Brady Burke, Oneida High School, our Scholar Athletes of the Week, presented by One Bank of Tennessee. We'll see if we can get with Matt West and get you guys hooked up with whatever's coming your way. But congratulations, and keep working hard in the classroom and on the field. Thank you for joining us. Good luck for you this Friday night and you next Friday night. One more break. We'll be back to wrap it up on the roundtable after this. Welcome back to the Roundtable on the IH Sports Network. Our final segment of the night, and as always, it's kind of become a tradition. We give the cheerleaders their turn because we've talked about soccer, we've talked about football, and at some point this season we'll talk about band and who knows, maybe cross country too. But tonight we got two cheerleaders, two senior cheerleaders. We've got Lexi Markham from Scott High School, and we've got Kylie Vaden from Oneida. Now these two guys, you have one thing in common, and probably a lot more than that, besides the fact that you're cheerleaders. You're both first-year cheerleaders. And so as a way of introducing yourself, Lexi, you've played basketball all throughout school, and all of a sudden now you're a cheerleader. How did that come about?
Well, I tore my ACL during our last game of summer camp my junior year, and then I had a bunch of complications with that and still recovering from that. So I just thought it'd be better, like, on my body to do cheer.
So Lydia Klein also last year made the decision to go from basketball to cheer. Did that influence that in any way?
Not really, but
kind of the same situation though. Yeah. So and I mentioned you've always played basketball, and your dad is Chad Markham, and he is he's former player, former coach. Your uncle is Devlin Markham. I mean, basketball runs deep in your family. So your dad specifically, was he a little bit heartbroken when you gave up basketball for cheer?
No, I don't really think so, just because he saw what all I went through, and I honestly think he thought I made like a good decision with that.
Okay. Kylie, how about you? What made you decide as a senior to join the cheerleading squad?
Well, my sister was a cheerleader her whole life, and I did it a little bit whenever I was younger, and I've always just been very, like, into the cheerleaders. I'm always the one who's participating in the pep rallies, Lexi too, and so they've been asking me to do it for a couple of years, and I really wanted to this year. So
both of you guys, you've got one game now under your belt. Lexi, is it as much fun as you thought it would be? Is it more fun than you thought it would be?
Oh, yeah. I had a lot of fun.
How about it?
Oh, yeah. It's the best. It was really fun.
So both of those games Friday night were super exciting games, and for us to get to sit up there and watch them, and you couldn't, for coaches it's probably a little nerve-wracking, but for us it was so much fun. Oneida wins on a last-second field goal, and Scott High wins on a close to last-second touchdown. Do you get to watch that? Do you get to watch it play out on the field, or are you so involved in leading cheers that you don't really get to watch how it is all playing out behind you?
Well, honestly, we were like in the middle of a cheer, and then we heard everybody cheering, so we just turned around and started watching.
How about it?
A little bit of both. Like, we like getting the crowd engaged, of course, but also we like to cheer on the football players and see what's going on so we know what to cheer for. So whenever we were doing the field kick, I think all of our attention was on that instead of cheering.
Yeah, so a lot of times cheerleaders get overlooked. So football players are football players. Obviously, you don't have football without football players. Then you got the band. It wouldn't be the same. Friday nights wouldn't be Friday nights without the band, in my opinion. Some schools don't have a band, and that, to me, that's boring. PA announcer, I think a good PA announcer adds a lot to it. We got two good ones. We got Kevin Akers at Oneida. We got Tim Hall at Scott High. Then you got cheerleaders. What would high school football be without cheerleaders, in your opinion? Sell what you do on Friday night, the importance of what you do to everybody at home.
Well, I mean, honestly, we kind of help the crowd, and the student section can also get involved, like the pow, 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 pow cheer, like get them pepped up.
You don't see it, but me and Rick set up in the booth and pow, pow, pow. No, we really don't.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Really be glad.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm glad. Thanks for including me there. There's too much going on for me to. I'm sorry to pay attention to what the cheers that the cheerleaders are doing.
You guys have seen Michael Carroll do the pow, pow, pow. If Michael Carroll can do it and make it look cool, I think we can do it, Rick. Come on now. Kylie, how about it? The importance of cheerleaders on Friday night.
Just adding on to what Lexi says, just, getting the crowd engaged, especially like at Oneida. I know there's a lot of little kids running around. They really look up to the cheerleaders, and that just that gets them excited as well. And that just seeing them get excited with it makes us even more excited. And
wait just a second. Before we get to Friday night, how much work goes into game preparation, pep rallies and stuff like that? I mean, Friday nights, that's when we see you, but I know Scott High had a pep rally Thursday or Friday afternoon. I'm assuming Oneida did too. There's a lot of work that you got to do before Friday gets here. Is it more or less than you each of you expected to do?
For me, I guess a little bit kind of what I expected, but a little bit more, I guess, too. coming into it, everyone always talks it up. Like cheerleading is like, typically easier than everything else. And I was not expecting to come in and, practice a lot, having to make all the signs, learning all the cheers and stuff. Being a first-year senior, learning everything was a little difficult, but it's worth it.
Oh, sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. I agree with that 100%. Everybody always kind of like, oh, it's easy, but honestly, like learning so much material is like trying to remember it all is going out kind of hard.
And you practice 4 times a week before Friday gets here too. I mean, so you put in as much practice time as a basketball player or football player, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lexi, it was loud at Highlander Stadium Friday night, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
Very fun.
It was quite an atmosphere.
Yeah.
And Kylie, one thing, and this is kind of a new tradition. Tim probably knows exactly when it started, but it's just been in the last few years. The team and the cheerleaders interacting with the student section after the game, kind of like the University of Tennessee. They do the Tennessee Waltz with the student section after the game. That's got to be a pretty fun tradition, right?
Oh, yeah. That was my first time actually getting to participate in the alma mater, and it was everything that I could ever imagined. I really liked it. And just everyone getting on their feet. We were down at the first half, and, you could see it on everyone's faces. And so whenever we had that comeback, it really it brought the energy that we were expecting for the first game.
So you talk about the work. But there's somebody that leads that work. There's a cheer coach. Who's the cheer coach for you?
Lacey.
Massengale. All right. So what do you think about after watching what she does? How hard is that? And is that something that down the road you would consider doing yourself, or you would say, no, I'm not messing with all that? I mean, what about the job she does to keep your cheer team together?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a hard job because she has to remember the cheers and dances and everything too. But I mean, I wouldn't say I would consider it on down the road, but it's definitely a hard job that she has to do.
Who's your cheer coach?
Brandy Smith.
Right.
Love her.
Same question. What do you respect most about what she does to keep that machine moving?
Coming in, this is her first year, and she has excelled all of my expectations. I think all the cheerleaders, alongside our assistant coach, Gracie, they are both just very sweet and very, supportive. They listen to us and they help us, and they definitely make the environment so much better, because I don't think you can have a good cheer team without a good cheer coach, and they are awesome.
I'm sure you're correct. I'm going to ask you, I got one more quick one, and I'm just going to ask you, are you going to be continuing to cheer in basketball?
Yes, I am.
Will you as well?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. You say that sometimes the cheerleaders fade in or something in the football thing. I don't know. That was your words, not mine. But I do know this. In basketball, when I listen to a basketball game, something about the gym, you can hear the cheerleaders. That's when the cheerleaders really hit home to me as a basketball game. I mean, it's a factor in football, but not even close to the factor that the cheerleading squad is in basketball. You can just feel like you're there when you're listening to a game. Sometimes, we'll come back from a break, I'll hear it through my headphones, and I'll feel like, oh yeah, this is a game.
H keeps scores of the cheerleaders tumbling runs down the court to see. He calls them full pulls. So he keeps scores to see which team has a cheerleader that can.
Do they still call them that, full pulls? That's like a 1970s.
You're asking the wrong person.
Well, I mean,
that's way back.
He's a 1970s dude.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I didn't say that they fade in. Do you saw the way Kylie came into the room tonight? There's no fading in.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah,
no, I said they get overlooked. Fess up. Who knocked the table over?
It was all Kylie. It was not me.
I was supposed to tell them.
Okay.
You said they could be overlooked sometimes. Right.
Overlooked,
Okay.
yes,
so
that's what I
my
said.
point is that in basketball, I don't think they can be. I think it's
No, I agree.
so
That's-
integral to
yeah.
a basketball game.
Absolutely. Okay, so I don't know that anybody told either one of you guys this. Bo Kidd is who you get to blame. You'll have to blame me. We wrap things up here on the show every week by picking the winners of this week's games. And you guys get to pick the winners because these two guys, we had a pick 'em panel for years. We're not doing it this year. They always finish towards the back of the pack. They need help. And so we're going to pick the games of our local games, which we've only got one this week. Sky High's not playing. But also our other district games, region games. And so are you ready?
wait a minute. Wait a minute. In my defense, if I could pick football games, I'd be playing the lottery. There you go.
All right. So, and we'll start off just, Where else would we start off? Oneida is playing at Harriman. You guys ended up on opposite sides of the tables. You can't converse and strategize.
And last week I was out of Scott High, and I spent 10 minutes talking with her dad. I mean, so.
Oneida is playing at Harriman this week. Oneida coming off the big win over Rockwood. Harriman didn't get to play last week because their game with Kingston got canceled. So this is Harriman's season opener, and I think it was maybe you asked somebody will Harriman maybe have those first game jitters that they haven't been able to get out of their system yet. So what are you thinking Friday night? Harriman versus Oneida.
I got Oneida, of course, but
of course.
I definitely think that seeing us, we did have some jitters, I think. So I could bet on them having some as well.
Okay. So, Tim?
I mean, Harriman finished third in their district to Coalfield and Oliver Springs. So they're pretty good. They're very talented. They got a new coach. I think this being their first game, I think is going to give us an edge that we need to take advantage of. I'm obviously going to go with the Indians.
Lexi, Kylie couldn't pick against Oneida, but I'm guessing you're not going to pick against Oneida either.
No, I got Oneida, but I do think it'll be a good game.
How about it, Rick?
I think the fact that Oneida has played a game helps Oneida. I would go with Oneida.
Okay, so what we should do is do like Tim put his guys on the spot this year. They had to pick. We need to do this with your crew as well. They had to not only pick a winner of each game this season, they had to pick a spread, and they're being judged. He's letting them know how many points they are in the hole. Who's in the lead right now, Tim, after week 1?
Mark and John L. with -11.
Great start.
They are knocking it out.
Why do anything, Ben, that you're going to have negative scores in there like
well,
that?
It's those guys. So what else are they going to have?
I understand.
Tellico Plains at Sequoia, and Tellico Plains coming off a 30-0 win over Greenback. Sequoia lost to Sweetwater 35-7. Oneida gets to see Tellico Plains later this season. What do you think, Tellico Plains or Sequoia? It's been a struggle recently for Sequoia.
I'll say Tellico Plains then.
I like your pick, Tim.
Bo Kidd says Tellico Plains is scary, that they are big and strong and the team to watch out for in our region this
Since
year.
when do we listen to what Bo Kidd
I
says?
agree with him. It's Tellico Plains. The Bears will take down Sequoia.
Tellico Plains?
Yep.
Okay, so Tellico Plains over Sequoia. Polk County is at Marion County. Polk County coming off a 22-12 loss to McMinn Central. No shame in that. Scott High is going to see McMinn Central later this year. They're very good. Marion County is coming off a 33-3 win over Brainerd down in Chattanooga. Polk County at Marion County. Who you got?
I'll go with Polk County.
Polk County springing the upset, Tim. Do you agree with that?
I think she meant to say Marion County, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were going to take the home team.
Yeah, Marion County, big.
Marion County.
Hey, now where'd you come up with that?
I don't know.
I don't know about big, but Marion County.
I think Marion County. I would agree with Tim. Marion
And that's
County
no disrespect
big.
to Polk County, by the
Polk
way.
County's good.
Polk County is good.
Yeah, just not Marion County good,
That's
maybe.
right.
All right, McMinn Central at Eagleton. This is the first team from Scott High's region that is playing this week. Eagleton coming off a 38-20 loss to Oliver Springs. Oneida sees Eagleton later this year. I'm sorry, this is Scott High and Oneida's region. What am I thinking? All right, McMinn Central at Eagleton. Eagleton coming off 38-20 loss to Oliver Springs. McMinn Central coming off that 22-12 win over Polk County we talked about just a minute ago. And we'll start over here again. What do you think? McMinn Central at Eagleton.
McMinn Central.
McMinn Central.
I
I like
agree.
that pick. You agree with that?
I agree.
That's tough for me. That sounds like almost a pick'em game between those two teams. But McMinn Central over Polk by how much? 8?
McMinn Central over Polk County 22-12. 10-point
10. Rick, you go first.
It's not really a pick'em game, is it, Rick?
No, I don't think so. I think it will be a pretty even matchup. I'll pick McMinn just because we got to play him later.
Yeah, McMinn.
Who did you guys pick? McMinn?
Yeah.
I'm going to say McMinn by at least 2 touchdowns. All right, Meigs County at East Hamilton. Meigs coming off a 6-0 win over Chattanooga Prep, and East Hamilton coming off a 43-14 win over Hickson. And I'm going to start on your side of the table, Lexi, because Meigs County is a Scott High region opponent. Meigs County at East Hamilton. Who are you picking to win that game?
I think I'm going to say Meigs County.
Meigs County. How about it, Kylie?
I'll agree.
Rick?
I might go with East Hamilton based on this, the 3 teams we're getting from down there, they wanted to get away from the Chattanooga teams. So I think East Hamilton with a little edge.
I'm going to go Meigs County. I think that's an impressive win over Chattanooga Prep.
That
it is.
So I would agree it was an impressive win. This is the first one, and I truly don't know. I don't have a pick on that one. I think this one truly is a toss-up. All right, Sweetwater is off this week. They're going to play Tellico Plains next week. Man, what an impressive win that was for Sweetwater. Even though Sequoia has struggled, but 65 points Sweetwater put up the other night. William Blunt at Austin East. AE coming off a 52-30 loss to South Doyle. William Blunt defeated Loudon 49-0. So, Lexi, William Blunt at Austin East. Austin East is Sky High's region opponent.
I'm going to say William Blunt.
William Blunt.
Yeah, I'm going to say William Blunt.
Have you guys disagreed on any picks so far?
No.
You got one more chance to do it, Rick.
Oh, my.
You're right on this one, by the way.
I mean, it's right. I'm going to say William Blunt, but something about Austin East just always scares me. You never know.
William Blunt's 5A, right? I mean,
they are.
This is a huge school. Or are they even in the big
They
bracket?
Could be 6A. Yeah,
6A.
Honestly.
I think William Blunt.
Yeah. And William Blunt traditionally has not had a lot of success, but I mean that was impressive against Loudon.
Yes.
I mean it's always been Alcoa, Maryville, and now Heritage is coming on down there. William Blunt is really, I don't want to say stepchild, but they've been on the low end of the totem pole. But that's impressive. Where I don't know how good Loudon is, but that was an impressive win.
All right, last one. Lexi, Kingston at Oliver Springs. Oliver Springs coming off the 38-20 win over Eagleton. We talked about that. And we talked Kingston didn't play against Harriman, so those first game jitters, we talked about that. This was a 28-21 game last year. Kingston won. Big rivalry down in Roane County. Kingston at Oliver Springs.
I think Kingston.
Okay, now I told you that you get one more chance to disagree. Are you going to?
No.
Nope, Kingston.
Kingston.
Now, wait a minute. I sense a little bit, is this a rivalry thing coming in right here? It got heated in basketball last year, didn't it? Were you there for that?
I was.
Yeah. Oneida and Oliver Springs and district foes this year. It's going to be fun, but that's basketball. That's down the road.
Oliver Springs lost to who?
Oliver Springs lost to they beat Eagleton.
They beat Eagleton.
They beat Eagleton.
What was it?
38-20.
I think I'm going Kingston.
I'll go with Kingston. Yes.
But they didn't play, right?
They got
that
postponed.
Makes it tough.
And the thing I can't understand, big rivalry down there, they're not going to even try to make it up. So I couldn't get that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so I'm telling you, Kylie, you had your chance to pick a winner upset right here, but you ain't picking Oliver Springs. Oliver Springs is going to pull it off, though, guys. That's it. You heard it right here. Oliver Springs beats Kingston Friday night.
That would be a very interesting upset.
You want to change your pick? No. All right.
So one more time, Oliver Springs beat Eagleton. What was the score?
38-20.
Okay.
All right.
No, it's Kingston.
Okay. Kylie Vaden, Lexi Markham. I almost said Lexi Buttram, and I knew it before the night was over I would do that. I'm sorry to both of you, but thank you guys for joining us tonight. And thank all of you for joining us tonight as well for the Roundtable. I want to thank all of our sponsors who bring you the Roundtable each week on the IH Sports Network. Thank Greg Baum behind the controls. Leetta Boyd, she's the bouncer, as always, guarding the door. Rick Heaton, Tim Smith for joining us. Thank you again. We'll see you Friday night on the IH Sports Network. Good night.